Greetings, divine mirrors, sacred, awakening, remembering, gods and goddesses, one and all. Thank you for showing up. Welcome to episode number 29 of Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tess. It's a joy to be here. I look forward to this every week. It's the day that I feel most in alignment with my divine purpose and honoring my commitment to showing up myself, regardless of how many people are tuned in, trusting law of attraction to magnetize those who will get value from the conversation and messages being shared. Our topic today, interestingly enough, while most everyone is focusing on love-related things with Valentine's Day coming tomorrow, these words popped into my head a few days ago, and I consider myself to be a word alchemist. I really honor and get great value out of the power of words and how we cast spells and pass sentences and speak things into existence by the words that we choose, whether we are doing it consciously or unconsciously. So I am a big proponent of becoming better and better at finding the words that we mean to say what we mean to say and mean what we say, and thereby we become more congruent and more empowered as manifestors. And we also can begin to see how disempowering certain words and certain concepts are to our sense of well-being and happiness. And we begin to question these words that are used that foster beliefs, that dictate our self-fulfilling, I will dare say, experience of reality. If we don't question the experience that we're having, if it's not feeling good, and start to look at our have-tos and supposed-tos instead of our get-tos as a gift and a privilege and a blessing of the miracle of getting to exist here in this dimension. So these words popped into my head the other day. Thanks for the loves and likes. I don't yet see who is here with me, but I know someone is. Oh, Helene, welcome. Nice to see you. You're so early today. You're taking an early break, I take it. Anyway, the topic I haven't yet revealed what it is, although I did write about it. And I'm so curious as to how these words play upon you, because to me, they're just a few little words and they speak volumes. So the topic today is the tyranny of urgency. And if you feel to type in the chat or to come on and chat with me, thanks for the heart. Happy Valentine's Day to you, my dear. And chat with me about how those words land on you. The tyranny of urgency. Because for me, when they came to me, they felt so deeply evocative of my experience and impression of Western culture, human condition, as it relates to the mania and the angst and the anxiety and the anxiousness as we live in this time-bound so-called reality. And the subject of time is one that I have put a lot of deep contemplation in, because I see it as a man or human made contrivance so that in this game that we are playing, called Playing Human, that we are able to coordinate logistical points at which to meet or get on an airplane or have a celebration or any of the things that we use time for. The challenge, as I see it through my filters, is that we've bought into it as though it is a real thing. And because we have been programmed to believe in the calendar and the clock and this like circular, like hamster in a wheel kind of a track that we follow day in, day out, season in, season out, year in, year out, we kind of have gotten caught inside of that contrivance that was created for convenience and start to act it out and believe in it as if it's real. Because, for example, if you had to put an age on the ocean or an age on the sky, how old would you say those things are? And do they show signs of aging, or are they permanently and perpetually existing in the eternal present? And those things are representative of nature. And if we are in touch with what I would consider to be the truth of our being, we are one with that nature. We are part of that nature. We are not separate from it. And so if we hadn't come up with this contrivance of clock time and calendar time, and we just found ourselves animated in this dimension, and even though we may evolve and go through cycles in terms of our appearance, our maturity, all these various things, how old would we be if we never put a label of a birth date and a birth year upon ourselves? Would we not also be the eternal present, always just here, just now? And so along those lines, and I've talked about that particular aspect of this before, all of a sudden, I don't remember what the context was that these words came to me, but it kind of like I immediately wrote them down. The tyranny of urgency. So in this game that we have bought into, that we call time, we have also created these things called deadlines. And if you've heard anything about quantum physics, they have done all sorts of tests, experiments that show that time can expand, time can contract based on the environment, based on the perceiver, based on all sorts of variables and factors. And so that which we call a second, that which we call a minute, and how much space is actually between each one is debatable, because without the observer, that which is being observed shifts or may actually be inactive or may be inert. So if we are to look at our culture and all the things that we've been programmed with, as in time is money, and we are not to waste time, and we better hurry up to accomplish because we can run out of time, and time waits for no one. And in fact, you may have also heard me talk about this before. I was living in a side-by-side duplex in West Hollywood a number of years ago. And on the other side of the wall that divided the two units lived my landlady, who asked me if I would go in and feed her cats and change their litter for the duration of her time that she was going to be away. And so, of course, I said yes. And the first time I went in there, I was struck by this cuckoo clock that was on the wall. And on the face of the clock was a rendering of a hare, H-A-R-E, a rabbit that was running across a field with the caption, "Time waits for no one." And as I stood outside of this device and I was observing this rendering of this rabbit rushing across a field, and observed the second hand on the clock, it was going back and forth, 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 back and forth. And as I watched it, it occurred to me that that second hand had nothing to do with the rate of my heart rate, pulse, and breath at rest. And yet that pace that second hand and that clock was calibrated to was functioning in this sort of a speed. And it was like, oh my God, this is the pace at which our society has been programmed to function, which is unnatural, not self-loving, not honoring. In fact, there's a kind of a violence to it because it fosters stress. It fosters this anxiety, this sense of, oh my God, I have to hurry up. I'm not moving quickly enough. I have such a long to-do list, not a get-to-do list, but a to-do list. And I have all these things that I want to accomplish in my lifetime, and I don't know that I have enough time to do it. I don't know that I have enough time. I don't know that time is on my side, that it is a man-made contrivance, and that it bends and stretches and contracts based on my need and my honoring of myself. And so, gosh, I don't know, I'm talking, could be 25 years ago or so that I saw that. And that was the beginning of my departure from being run by the clock and the calendar. It was somewhere around that point that I stopped wearing a watch. And I talk about an ultimate goal of mine would be to really have the courage to depart the matrix altogether and live in the eternal present by really giving myself permission to function at the organic pace of my breath, my pulse, and my heart rate without being tied to this device. Now, if I were to do that, I would not be able to say, okay, tune in with me every Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. But the point is that to understand that it is a tool. And I remember also a number of years ago, there was this amazing woman named Jazz Muheen, who is still alive. I can't remember if she is from Australia or New Zealand. And she is a spiritual teacher who is breatharian. And she was coming to San Diego to do a weekend workshop, and I was asked to be her personal assistant during this workshop. And she was truly amazing because she lived on life force, prana, on photosynthesis from the sun and transcended the illusion of the need to eat, which is also part of our mortal programming. And because I personally have fasted for 40 days and then eventually again for 30 days just on water and prayer, I say that my operating system changed from a food-based operating system to a faith-based operating system. And once that happened, and I realized that the only thing that is actually sustaining us is the source from which we have sprung forth, that breathes life into us, and that all that we participate in here in this amazing dimension is kind of window dressing. It is for the pleasure of getting to be in a body and getting to have senses and getting to have taste buds and the ability to smell and chew and swallow and the beauty of food and what a delight it is to get to experience. But it shifted my consciousness from a have to a get to. And so once that happened and I felt kind of liberated from the need to eat, I also was like, okay, well, what else have I been programmed to believe that I need in order to function here as a mortal human? Who's here with me? Let's see. We've got Helene and Art and Stu and Krista and Anna. Welcome. And welcome everybody. Nice to see all of you here with me. And Hope Wise, welcome to Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tess, where our topic today is the tyranny of urgency. And if you're just joining me or you have come on a little bit after I first started talking, I would love to hear from you if you want to type it in the chat. Or Robin Hogue wants to join me on video, so I'm going to say yes to Robin. And I'm going to invite her on. Let's accept. It seems like you wanted to come on, so that's why I invited you. So I'm not sure if that was a technical glitch or you changed your mind or you didn't know that you had raised your hand in order to come on. But anyway, I would love to hear if any of you have any, like an instant hit about what those words do to you when you hear me say, or having read in the description, the tyranny of urgency. So where I was going with this is that once I experienced no longer needing to eat, but getting to eat as a pleasure. So it's not like I personally want to spend the rest of my life without uh, eating food. It's too wonderful a thing, but it is a get to. Oh, that was a mistake. Maybe later. No worries, Robin. It's all good. Um, so anyway, I assisted with this woman who's been a breatharian for decades, a very healthy, alert person. Because what happens is that when you don't eat, all the all the energy that goes into thinking about food, shopping for food, preparing food, eating food, digesting food, cleaning up after food suddenly becomes available to you. And don't try this at home without talking to me first, because I'm happy to coach you in it if that's something that you are resonant with and want to experiment with. And it's a really one of these, like, don't try this at home without a proper mindset and consciousness, because uh, if you have certain beliefs about starving, it is a self-fulfilling universe, and you could make yourself very sick and possibly check out. So you don't want to do that unless you really are being called to it and of a mindset. But anyway, the point is that one of the things that she said was, I am the master of time. Time is not the master of me. So if I take that and I take the quantum physics, um, proven formula that suggests that we can expand and contract time based on our will, and if I want to be moving through this dimension as a divine child of the Creator, as as born of majesty, as opposed to just a kind of dispensable character in the play. It's all a matter of how we hold ourselves. It's all a matter of our awareness and our taking the time to identify the things that we think that about ourselves and about this dimension that are potentially not supporting us in having the most divine, most empowered experience, and examining them and having the courage to dance to the beat of our own drum, so to speak, to step out of the pace of the dominant culture and go, no, I am going to honor myself and trust that if I move at the pace of my heart and my breath and my pulse at rest rather than manic and frantic, that the universe, this field, this intelligent field that is surrounding my form, will reorient itself to support me in always being exactly where I am meant to be without me feeling obligated to rush or stress or fear or worry or feel shame of being so-called late or behind or any of those things that I have been programmed to believe in this culture, in this um, simulation that we find ourselves in. Am I making sense to you? I'd love some comments in the thread, and I would love anybody who feels inspired to come on and chat with me. It's always more fun to have a dialogue than to simply be looking at my own reflection and agreeing with myself, because I do agree with myself. Ana Luisa, to me it means that I feel the urgency of living a full connected life. I feel my life slipping away. I feel my soul crushing loneliness, and it fills me with dread. I probably, whoops, 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 I lost, could stop eating if I could have everything else related to a joyful, fear void life with a living one. Let's take a deep breath. First of all, I feel you, and I honor you, and you have my compassion and my empathy. And this conversation today is not really about being breatharian. It's not really I'm not like on a crusade to get people to stop eating food, because it is one of the greatest pleasures that we have here, with all the variety and all the tastes and all the textures and all the delicious smells and all the amazing array of options that we have. I am not at all suggesting that at this moment in time. I brought it up simply because I was referencing the illusion of time and how much power we have given that contrivance over us to cause us to feel the kind of despair that you are describing. If you knew, if you really knew that time is an illusion and you are a divine miracle by some grace existing in this miraculous dimension. Yes, life is amazing, but void of joy when lived alone and without purpose. I feel you. And what you just stated is a belief. And if you are at all familiar with the work of Byron Katie, she would invite you to question the statement, but void of joy when lived alone and without purpose, and would ask if it is true, and, and that your life is void of joy, and that it has to be void of joy by being so-called alone, and potentially the time is upon you, as it is many of us, to re-examine what your purpose is. And if the purpose, as I see it, which is why I'm doing this weekly broadcast and calling it Voices of the Global Awakening. One of my groups, if you look in the description thread accompanying this live video, is called Waking Up from the Hypnosis of Mortal Reality. We have chosen to participate as characters in the divine play at this particular time in the evolution of our consciousness. And it is at this particular time when the veil is starting to lift, and ultimately, I believe, will lift entirely, so that we will realize the grand Leela, the grand illusion that we have been participating in. And we will see behind and beyond the masks of the characters that each of us have been playing. And if we can get so overcome with awe at the sacred miracle of our own existence and the existence of all that is, there is enough here. And detach from the story, the programmed story about what is a good life, the Hallmark story, the Gothic romance story about what is a good life, what is a life well lived, a life worth living, and we get really simple and basic about our awe at the miracle of being, at the miracle of being alive, at the miracle of existing, at the miracle of having a body, at the miracle of having senses, at the miracle of having eyes that can see, ears that can hear, a mouth that can speak, a nose that can breathe, hands that can touch, skin that feels the caress of the breeze. There is so much here for us to be in a perpetual state of awe and wonder and gratitude. And perhaps our true purpose is to wake up to that and realize that there is nothing that is expected of us, nothing that we have to do. Anything that we do need only come from divine inspiration, that we are worthy of the miracle of existence and all that is here and available to us simply by virtue of the fact that we exist. I don't want to wake up from my mortal state. I want to live it. Well, I would assert that you can live it with more joy
and more juice and in a more robust way. I'm not talking about leaving your body. I'm talking about getting to stay in your body and perhaps for the first time being so incredibly grateful that you have been given a character and a personality and aesthetics and preferences and tastes, and that no matter what you get to taste, no matter what you get to touch, no matter what you get to experience, it is still a miracle. And in that way, we get to be glad and grateful for everything, not just some things. We signed up for this physical incarnation experience. And we can only transmute and transform what is by first embracing what is. The more we shout, no, it is. I was talking to my dear friend Mondo last week. I don't know if you saw it, but one of the things that he said that really stuck with me is if you complain, you remain. It's a vibrational universe. And the vibration of yes and thank you is so much more positively magnetic than the vibration of no and sorrow and dread and regret. So if we can divorce ourselves from the tyranny of urgency, this sense that our time is running out, and we simply allow ourselves to bask in the deliciousness of the eternal present, like sitting in the center of the lotus and simply allowing the petals to unfold, the petals to unfold, the petals to unfold, and trusting that whomever or whatever intelligence is behind this entire animation loves us, loves our character. Like there's a biblical quote, it is God's great pleasure to give us the kingdom or the queendom, right? Okay, let's see. Robin, just recently I had a spiritual awakening and my purpose just opened up to me. Well, I'd love to hear what it is. Anna, the miracle life means nothing if it is not shared. The tree falling in the forest does not have a sound if there is no one to hear it. And how do you know that that's true? One of the other things that Mondo said last week is that the purpose of the song of the birds is to open the flowers in the morning. And you are describing yourself as alone, and yet you are in connection. And the opportunity that you are having on your personal journey, which I have been having too, is to learn to love yourself, learn to love your own company, learn to honor the things that please you and delight you and bring you joy, because it is only when our cup overfloweth that we can magnetize to us a reflection that can meet us in that divine place, because otherwise we meet others and we're wondering, why is this person not treating me the way that I deserve to be treated? Well, because somewhere we're not treating ourselves the way we deserve to be treated, and we're lowering our standards and we're settling for less than what we want because we're coming from a place of scarcity, rather than trusting that this same intelligence that causes the seasons to change and the tide to come in and out and the sun to rise and set also birthed us and is holding us. And if we can relax into that embrace, we can actually start to have a much more sensual, satisfying experience of our relationship with the beloved, which is always in us and all around us. But we're not connected to it because we're in this illusory field that we take for real, and we've given it so much power that we perceive ourselves as separate and alone. You know, there's a practice that I have been doing for a time, and you can do this because you know what it feels like to be with a beloved. And everything, and that's why I was talking about the food, um, everything in this dimension is placebo. It represents the source energy that is behind it, that is the true power from which we are deriving our chi, our life force energy, and our remaining here, and all the things that manifest in 3D all come from that same source energy. And so if you want to magnetize a true beloved to share your life experience with, the place you need to start is in loving yourself, is in tuning in to what it is about the external beloved that you enjoy so much, and what that quality, how that quality makes you feel. And give yourself permission to bask in that quality right here, right now, and cultivate that quality. Milk it, cultivate it, so that you are walking with the beloved every moment, every step, every breath that you take. And I assert that if you practice that, the day will come where a physical representation of that will show up to meet it. Now, one quote that comes to mind as I say that is um, that the quote was a woman, and I'm sure it can be changed to be more gender neutral. But a woman must be so immersed in her relationship with God or her internal beloved that a man must find God in order to find her. And if what you want is a really, truly, genuinely meaningful relationship with another form of the beloved, then I invite you and encourage you to give yourself permission to heal whatever is inside of you that is not loving and accepting you for you, as the divine blessing that you are right here and right now. Be in peace, to be in paradise, to be in heaven, for me, means to quiet the angst and the anxiety that is fear based and insecure, and worries that I'm never going to get what I want. And the only time for us to have what we want is right here, right now. My cup is so full, it's bursting. There is so much love in my heart, just no one who wants it. Spiritual Spirituality has no meaning without connection. I'm tired of loving myself. I want to be loved by another. I don't want to wait anymore. Sorry, Tess. Spirituality is not enough nourishment for me. I'm a blood and bone woman. Thanks for letting me express myself. I love you, sister. I welcome you. I invite you. And I hear you. And I put up a post today that said, if you go chasing butterflies, they run away. If you build a butterfly sanctuary, they come to you. It's not about chasing, it's about magnetizing. Okay, I'll leave with my insecurity. Have a good evening. Sweetie, I'm supporting you, and I'm not sure how you mean that last statement, but go love yourself some more. Well, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. You seem to have doubt, and it is the doubt, the insecurity, the lack of faith that is in the way, and um, and so the work is in loving yourself and forgiving yourself for having that doubt, for having that hurt, for having that fear, for having that insecurity, and allowing yourself to feel everything you're feeling and giving thanks that regardless of whether you're feeling met right here, right now, in the way that you want to be, that you are still divinely blessed regardless. You know, about a year and a half ago or so, I took a trip down to Bucerias, Mexico, outside of Puerto Vallarta, where I was invited to do 6 days of one-on-one shamanically guided plant medicine journeying with an amazing shaman, very intuitive and uh, like carrying ancient lineages of insight and tradition and teaching. And we did 3 days on each medicine. And the first day I was to focus on my maternal lineage, the second day on my paternal lineage, the third day on myself. And that was the first medicine. And then the second medicine, repeat that, the same thing, maternal, paternal, and self. And as the medicine was taking effect in my body, and I'm purging all all the darkness that was trapped in my cells. Um, so it's like coming out from every end, and I'm like crying, and I'm in pain, and I'm screaming, and he kept repeating in this calm and gentle voice, "Thank you," for me to repeat after him. "Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank you, God. Thank you for my beautiful life. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank you, God. Thank you for my beautiful life." And I remember at the time being so like resistant to him and those words, and it was like, no, but you don't understand. I haven't had a beautiful life. I have had a deeply painful and deeply disappointing life, heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. Those words aren't true. I cannot say those words. And he just was very calm. "Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank you for my beautiful life," over and over. And it took me the better part of a year to finally understand it's not about the story of the characters that we're playing. It is about the the awe and the gratitude of the miracle of getting to be alive no matter what our experience is. And this is very consistent with Buddhist teachings about um, desirelessness. And when they say, "May all beings be free," this is what they're talking about. So it's kind of like, because I always use the analogy of being an actor in the divine play. You know, an actor is is more often than not happy to be working, happy to have a role, whether they're playing the hero, whether they're playing the villain. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, Shakespeare said, There are no small parts. There are only small actors. And the way I interpret that to mean is that if you have a chip on your shoulder and you're ungrateful for the role that you have been given and the circumstances of your character, you're missing the point. You're in the play. I have nothing to thank my parents but just to be born. They had little to do with that, just sex as nature. Well, honey, that is everything. As an actor, as a trained actor, with a degree in theater, having pursued a career in New York and in Hollywood, in that world, the parallels to me, it's like the more complex and dysfunctional and screwed up a character's backstory was, the juicier the role to sink one's teeth into, because we are all on our own heroes or heroines journey. And so your character has needed all of this adversity in order to shape you, in order to temper you, in order to cultivate you, in order for you to have something to transcend. And so when you can get to a point where you are genuinely grateful for the role that you have been cast in, and you can see your parents as your evolutionary allies who loved you so much that they agreed to play these catalysts. They agreed to play these antagonists in your journey in order to provide the pumice, for you to rub yourself up against, to smooth out your edges, as have all your difficult and challenging circumstances. I assert that each and every person on this planet is our evolutionary ally, including our so-called enemies. And I get that that is profoundly challenging to wrap our brains around. Hey, Michelle Zwicker in the house. Welcome, sweetheart. Bullshit. They did not love me. You don't need your parents to love you. The divine source intelligence loves you. The divine source intelligence loves your character. And your parents, as disembodied spirits, agreed to play these roles in your life experience for your evolutionary journey and the lessons that you came here to learn. There is a wonderful story that you may have even heard me tell before by Neil Donald Walsh. And he put it in his Conversations with God. And it was so beloved that he was encouraged to lift it out of there and republish it as a children's story. And the story is about this little beam of light that wanted to know itself as light and goes to God and says, God, I want to know myself as the light. And God said, but my child, you are the light. There's nothing else for you to know. And the little beam says, but I can't feel it. I can't feel myself as the light. And I want to have an experience of what that feels like. And God says, but my child, in order for you to have the experience that you are asking for, I am going to need to put you out in the darkness. And it is going to be cold and frightening and harsh out there. And you are not going to feel all the wonderful goodness that you feel here at home in heaven, surrounded by the light. And the little beam of light said, I don't care. I want to feel that experience. I want it. I want it. And so the other little beams of light came to this one and said, we love you so much that we are willing to portray the darkness in your human mortal life journey experience in order for you to get to experience yourself as the light. But we are going to go into a kind of hypnosis and a kind of amnesia, and we're going to forget who we are. And we're going to be heinous, and we're going to be horrible, and we're going to be cold, and we're going to be mean. And your job is, no matter how horrible we are As soon as you figure out that you are the light, your job is then to remind us as well. And if I'm honest, I will say that that little story had such an impact on me. It has contributed to why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Trust me, I have felt myself as the heartbroken, maybe I'm bad, maybe I'm unworthy, maybe I don't deserve, maybe there's something wrong with me. But there was this goodness, this other part inside of me that was like, why is it like this? This isn't fair. I don't deserve this. Why am I being treated like this? Why was I born into this family? I get it, sister. You and I had a big, long conversation about this over 2 bottles of wine a number of years ago. So I understand. I know your story. Okay? But the point is, as an actor in the divine play, in a tour de force role, because you are a formidable character. You are a kick-ass character. With your art and your consciousness and your intelligence and your heart, you have done and continue to do with so much tenacity, so much good in this world, and have the capacity to do so much more once you can truly dissolve this anger and this hurt that is standing in the way, that is causing you to feel so separate. And choose to decide to love and embrace every other character that exists in this dimension that also agreed to play the parts that they're playing. Whether they are a presidential candidate, whether they are a serial killer, whether they are Hamas, it doesn't make a difference. You're exhausted. I'm the one who's doing all the talking. Well, then rest. What there is to do is rest. Rest is an act of self-love. And one of the reasons that we are afraid to rest is because of the tyranny of urgency, because we don't trust that time is an illusion and that we have the right to function at the pace of our heartbeat and our breath and our pulse in a calm and neutral state. And so we are in a constant state of anxiety, trying to hurry up and catch up and make things happen before it's too late. And this is a fear program that I am inviting us to wake up from. You are the master of time. Time does not have to be your master. I dare you to unplug your clocks for a week and just let the sun rise and set, and let your circadian rhythms, your internal clock return to your personal natural rhythm, and stop being a slave driver to yourself, thinking that you have to force yourself to do more in order to be worthy of the miracle of your own existence. You don't. We are enough. We are enough just by being here. And the moment we let ourselves alone and let ourselves be and decide that we are enough, all the things that we have been pining for can come to us, because we are not a match. We are not a match to our own fulfillment as long as we are in yearning and despair. Welcome, Priscilla. Welcome, John Dolan. Nice to have you all here. You are most welcome, my sister. I really appreciate engaging with you in this conversation. So let us all be here. I'm going to stop talking for a couple of minutes while I kind of like reset and feel into what is alive and what is wanting to be spoken next. And I invite you to do the same. If anybody wants to come on camera with me, please raise a hand so that I'm aware of you, and we will pick up with whatever's next. But in the meantime, I really want us to have a bodily felt experience of releasing the tyranny of urgency, of releasing that angst that is running us, that is not allowing us to be in peace. You know, Gandhi said, be the peace you want to see in the world. It is probably the greatest contribution that we can make, is to allow ourselves to emanate the frequency of peace into the field and see what that allows to unfold. Urgency suggests that something is wrong, and it introduces into the field a violent frequency of fear and mistrust and scarcity, like there's not enough. And this is the illusion of hell or purgatory that we have overlaid upon this divine realm. When the truth is, if you tune in to nature, of which we are a part, most of the time there is this idyllic, peaceful, calm, eternal movement. It's just unfolding. The present is just unfolding. And everything is always in divine order, even if it appears as disorder or chaos. There is an overarching intelligence that is orchestrating this entire experience. Osho Rajneesh, the spiritual teacher who brought Tantra to the West, had this little ditty that he would sing. It went, "We are sailing on a journey to nowhere, taking it easy, taking it slow. No need to hurry, not even a worry, nothing to carry. Let it all go." Be still and know that you are God. You are one with the source of all that is, hanging out in the eternal present. And the eternal present is waiting for you to bask in it, to sink into it. to allow yourself to give up all the tormenting stories of lack, of what you should have, but you don't. And instead, decide to trust that you always have exactly what is in your best interest for your soul's evolution. Not your character's ego wants and needs that go largely unmet, but that which is the most healing, the most nourishing, the most enriching, the most rewarding, the most redirecting of your attention to how blessed you actually are. Whatsoever things you desire, when you believe you already have them, you draw them to you. It's about loving, honoring, and appreciating the miracle you are so much that you use nothing as your excuse for why you can't be in rapture, in ecstatic gratitude and appreciation right here and right now, independent of circumstance. And that is how we transcend, and that is how we rise up, and that is how we magnetize and become a match to this magical dimension meeting us in those places. If we want something and it's not here yet, it's because on some level we're simply not ready to receive it. And instead of beating ourselves up about it, we can be kind to ourselves. Everything is great. Everything is flowing. You are God, dear. Thanks for knowing. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. Everything is fine. All your dreams are growing. Bless the seed that you've been sowing. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. Life is a dream come true. It's up to you to see. You are the master of your perfect destiny. Love is the formula that opens every door. Be who you want to be. It's what you came here for. Everything is fine. All the world is glowing. Time to rise. The rooster's crowing. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. We need to get to the point where we are so satisfied just to get to exist that we are no longer attached to our circumstances, and we are able to turn them all over to the intelligence sustains us. And I dare say, decide, I'm simply grateful I get to be here. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what I don't. It only matters to me that I get to be here for as long as I get to be here. And I believe that the more I practice that, the more happy and satisfied and content I am just for the privilege of getting to be in a body and have a form and be healthy. Like, I feel like the more joyful and grateful, the more likely I will remain healthy. And that requires humbleness and humility and a detached surrender to, you know what, I thought I knew what I'm supposed to be doing here, and apparently I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. But I do know what I get to do, and the things that I get to do, I'm grateful for. You know, in order for me to, I'm 29 weeks into doing this weekly broadcast. And in order for me to be able to do that, I had to completely detach from the need for this thing to blow up and see hundreds or thousands of people tuning in and, you know, getting sponsors and all that. Like, the thing about ambition is that if it's fueled by pure inspiration and joy, it's a beautiful thing. But if it's fueled by desperation, if there's like my self-esteem is attached to being successful and recognized and all that kind of stuff, it's a setup. It's a setup because that would then mean that the people who don't have all that attention are less worthy, and that's not true. We are worthy of the blessing of existence just by the sheer virtue of our existence. So my invitation is to join me in taking on the self-loving, self-honoring, self-respecting permission of liberating yourself from the tyranny of the concept of urgency, of this belief that time is running out and that you are running late and that you are behind, because it is fear-based and it is life-stealing. It is not life-affirming. And allow yourself to bask in the bliss of the present moment. Welcome, Lisa. y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Can I get some feedback here in the comments? Allow yourself to feel the magic and the majesty and the miracle and the blessing of your own existence. We're so programmed to discount that, to take it in stride and take it for granted. And our very own existence is all the evidence that we need, that we are supported and sustained by a benevolent intelligence. People are always, oh, I need a miracle, I need a miracle, I need a miracle. If you slow down, if you step out of the illusion of this manic rushing river of time, you will find your miracle, and you're it. And the whole dimension that surrounds you is miraculous too. I don't know if you can hear the crickets where I am. It is a symphony right now. Hello, Tess. I agree. Well, that is lovely, Lisa. Would you like to come on and chat with me? You or anyone else? This is ongoing invitation. So it's a delight to have people to converse with. All you have to do is click on the little icon at the bottom of your phone. This can only be done on a cell phone. That has the outline of a person with a little box and the outline of another person inside that box. You may not yet realize or fully accept how blessed you are, but I do. And I am here to reflect to you your own worthiness. Not because of what you've accomplished, because you exist. Does this make sense to you? How does this silence feel? How does this sitting in stillness feel? Is it creating discomfort, angst, anxiety? Got to hurry up and get something done? Or are you realizing what a blessing and a privilege it is to simply get to be? Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to realize how blessed you are and what a blessing your existence is. If you can find that, if you can know that in and about yourself, all your fear will evaporate and your faith will take over. Don't you worry about a thing. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that sound good? We cannot love while we're worrying. We cannot trust while we're worrying. We cannot feel peace while we're worrying. And our peace is our greatest treasure. The Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom within, and all this will be added unto you. The kingdom within is this vast space of true potential, of infinite peace, the cosmos. Lisa, I'm getting used to it. The outside forces don't like it. It's chaos around me, and I'm sitting in a peace bubble. That's awesome. My son has severe mental illness, so that's always my background noise. But I love him anyway and try to create peace within, so it's also within him. Well, that's the most beautiful thing that you can be doing for both of you. And as they say, we have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first. So your commitment to cultivating that peace within you, regardless of where your son is at or anyone else, is high work in its mastery. And I'm incredibly happy for you and proud of you. Thank you for sharing. As I sit here into the in my own silence, in my own stillness, doing what I am suggesting that you do, I can literally feel the hurt in my heart dissolving. We all deserve peace. We all deserve to be at peace. And if we can make cultivating that peace our highest priority, the frequency that we're walking around in will change, and the energy will be reverberating out from us so that we can affect the field around us rather than being affected by the field, which causes us to shrink, which causes us to contract, which causes us to feel unsafe, insecure, out of control. Like we have no voice in our experience, and our voice comes from aligning with the calm knowing that we are one with our Creator, and we are walking through this dimension with our Creator. And we can consciously choose to enter into a state of grace to where we understand that we are walking, talking, living, breathing embodiments of the divine. We are the eyes, we are the hands, we are the heart of our source. Robin, I wrote a song, and the beginning was, if you have love in your heart, the birds will all sing and the flowers will grow. Well, that's beautiful. Would you like to come on and sing it? I would love that. Very yes, forthcoming. Well, I have one. I didn't write, but I did get to sing it at the Unity Church in Miami one year, and it went like this. You are the heart, you are the hand, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the voice, I am the hands of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. Now we are the heart, we are the hand, We are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. You're a blessing, I'm a blessing, we're a blessing to the world. If you really knew that you are a blessing to the world, and you held that, and you treated yourself as such, and you shared yourself as such, and you realize that if you are, everyone else must be too, and you treated everyone as if they are all sacred blessings, walking in this dimension, can you imagine how different your experience would be? We are all sacred beings. It's time for us to stop cheapening ourselves by perceiving ourselves and others around us through mundane eyes. Robin, I'd still love to have you come on if you're willing. Just give me an indication that you'd like to, and I will send out a bulletin looking for you. 6:27. Thank you, Stu. We've got 33 minutes left. 3 is a master number. 33 is a master number. It is the number of sacred play. So, if we can release ourselves, liberate ourselves from the tyranny of urgency, then we are free to play, to be as children again, back in the garden that we never left. We just created this big shadow monster of time is money and aging and decline and decay, and we like terrified ourselves. And so in that frozen state, it's been super hard to manifest and be creative and have fun because we cannot love and be happy and worry all at the same time. I love you, whether you love you yet or not. And I am the stand for the miracle that is you, each and every one. So if I can support you on your journey and you would like some one-on-one time, reach out to me via Messenger and we can have a complimentary exploration session and see what wants to happen, how we might work together or play together. Hmm. I recently moved a month ago, and I'm not fully set up yet, but I've made quite a bit of progress. A little help from my friends and a lot of work on my own. And I finally joined 24-hour fitness last week, and I finally went and swam uh, 30 lengths for my first time out, which was super good. And now I can feel aching in places that were not being worked out before for a while. So it's a good kind of ache. How lucky am I to get to be in a body and swim? And I do it in the pool with my snorkel and my fins and my goggles so I can keep my face in the water and listen to that wonderful nasal breathing and just like feel my lungs pumping, taking in and releasing oxygen. And it's like meditative and empowering. It feels really, really good. And it's a get to. It's not a have to. I'm not coming from this place of, oh my God, I need to work out. No, it's not. It's not. It's a need. It's a want. It's a desire because it feels good to be in this body and it feels good to be me. And it feels good to like myself and to realize that it's available to all of us to shift from that self-deprecating, shame, misguided, dark place of believing that we're not enough and we're not good enough and that we're deficient in certain skills and certain areas and we're never going to catch up and we're never going to make up for it. So it's like this incessant monkey mind neurotic stuff that we do to ourselves. And it is so wonderful to be on the other side of that, that how could I not share it? How could I not offer that to you? It's like the Neil Donald Walsh story. It's like your job, as soon as you remember that you're the light, is to help others remember too, because they're going to be playing their part so perfectly that they are going to forget and think that they really are evil and horrible and deficient. And how is that possible? We're all miraculous. Welcome, Juliana. Hmm. I trust the ease and flow. I trust the ease and flow. I release the need to know. I trust the ease and flow. I trust the ease and flow. I trust the ease and flow. I release the need to know. I trust the ease and flow. Sing with me. I trust the ease and flow. I trust the ease and flow. I release the need to know. I trust the ease and flow. One more time. I trust the ease and flow. I trust the ease and flow. I release the need to know. I trust the ease and flow. I hope that word alchemy, song, melody stick in your mind, and I have planted a seed and it begins to work and germinate and sprout and flower inside your consciousness because we deserve to have so much more of an easy time here than we have been allowing ourselves. Really tune in and ask yourself, what does it mean to you to be in grace, to be in a state of grace? and allow yourself to shift into that and to modify the way you relate to the field around you. If we are hard, we receive hardness in return. If we are soft, we receive softness. Which world do you want to live in? I choose a world of peace. I even have a project that you can find in the description that you can join my Facebook group called Rename the Planet, Planet Peace. Because our relationship with our Mother Earth is that we treat her like dirt. But if we called her Planet Peace, and we knew that every step upon her body was a blessing and a prayer, and that this little tiny word cell has the power to shift consciousness, how different would our relationship be with Mother? Planet Peace. Become an ambassador. Join the group. Become an ambassador and spread the little idea, because just a little idea and it's free and no one can stop it. Even if people think it's silly and naive and ridiculous, the seed is planted. Welcome, Phoenix. We still have a little bit of time left, so if anybody is brave and would like to come on and chat with me, I welcome you. Otherwise, I am happy to hold presence and sit mostly in silence with you, nourishing something. Mm. Do you grok what an act of rebellion it is to sit in peace and silence in a society based on urgency? This relentless sense of being behind and needing to hurry up because we're going to run out of time. This illusory concept that was created by man as a convenience that has taken over our sense of self and majesty. It allows us to trust we are always right where we are meant to be. And we will always arrive at exactly where we are meant to arrive at precisely the moment we are meant to arrive. Welcome, Dean. Nice to see you. Time is on your side. Yes, it is. Do you dare know that? Time's on your side. What would your life be like if you really, really knew that? I wrote this song for my mother called Time because when is it time to enjoy your life? When to release all the pain and strife? When to be other and mother or wife? When is it time? Is it time? When is it time to forgive the past? When to breathe free, just to be at last? When do you stop always running so fast? When is it time? Is it time? Years passes by in the blink of an eye, like clouds in the sky. They go. You've paid your dues. Ain't it time now to choose to live for the love of you? When is it time just to laugh and smile? When to indulge in your own sweet style? When to be happy, relax, cool a while? When is it time? Is it time? Someday is here, ma. Someday is now. Let go your fear, ma. I'll show you how. When is it time to enjoy your life? When to release all the pain and strife? When to be other than mother or wife? When is it time? Is it time? Is it time, my friend, to release yourselves from the tyranny of urgency? From the illusion of time running away from you, not able to catch up, not able to catch your footing, not able to catch your breath, never feeling stable, never feeling at peace because you fear being late, You fear running out. You fear being behind. And so you live without trust. You live without faith. You live without peace. You live without a sense of connection to all that is the cosmos, holding and supporting you in the perfection of who you are as a unique expression of the divine. Spiritual logic suggests to me it would be inconceivable for a supreme creator to breathe life into these animated characters and not sustain us. And it is only our fear and our doubt that disallow to the fullest, because as long as there is breath in our body, we are sustained. And we make it so much harder than it needs to be. It requires a willingness to let go of chasing and instead allowing and trusting to magnetize whatever is meant for us will come to us. Without attachment. Hi, Stephanie. Stefani, that's the way you say it. I apologize, Stefani. Hello, love. So good to see you in person last week, finally, after so many years. Truly, what if our greatest purpose is purely to emanate peace and faith and trust and know that we are enough? Dreaming and manifesting, getting closer. Yeah, you can feel it, can't you? Because it's like energetically, it becomes like, oh, it's right there. So I forgot my desk right here, but I didn't. This may need. If you are enjoying this and you are getting value out of it, there are many, many ways you can support and help spread this endeavor, this weekly community enrichment offering. And all that information is in the description attached to this live. This is week number 29, and I see no reason to stop, so we will keep going, whether it be here or moving ultimately to another platform. I surrender the knowing of that as well. And trust. Money, show me the money, show me the money. There's Cash App listed on my little description above. So if you feel so inspired to throw some of those In God We Trust green papers or electronic numbers on the screen this way to support this endeavor, that would tickle me. It would actually tickle me. So I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes to the energy that is wanting to come as signs and wonders and affirmations and confirmations of the good that little this little offering is doing in the world. So I'm generally amazed by, given like the tyranny of urgency and this like fast-paced society we live in, this TikTok world and Instagram world, and what did they replace Twitter with? It's called X now or something like that. And so for me to have the chutzpah to come on here for 2 full hours a week and have so many of you stick with me for this whole time. It's kind of like we are in, thank you, build it and they will come. I told that to somebody else on this call earlier. We are in our own parallel universe portal, in, and inviting ourselves, creating a space that feels more grounded, more peaceful, and more sane. Because by slowing down, this is kind of like one of life's biggest secrets here in the Matrix. By giving ourselves permission to slow down, we actually begin to feel ourselves. And we begin to feel the earth underneath our feet. And we begin to feel our butts on the seats we're sitting on. And whether we do a mudra and just put our fingers together and feel the material plane, the mother, the mater, touching and connecting and being grounded by the material plane, or we put our hands on a desk or a steering wheel, it's like this is evidence of our connection to source in the form of the physical. Any thought that we are alone or separate is an illusion. Thank you. I get that. Yes, yes, yes. So it's really one of my favorite things to talk about is that if you don't have to look any further for evidence that you are 100% supported by the physical and the non-physical, by Mother, Father, God, if you're comfortable with those terms, or whatever you would rather say. But it's like our connection to anything in the physical is all the evidence that we need that we are 100% supported by this dimension in the physical. Our continual life force energy prana that we breathe, that comes in such an abundant supply, is all the evidence we need from the non-physical that we are 100% supported by the living consciousness that is supporting and sustaining our forms in this dimension. So, so I invite you to practice keeping a certain portion of your awareness on feeling your feet on the ground, or your butt in the seat, or your fingers in a mudra, or holding the steering wheel, or touching your desk, or your cup, or your straw, or your pen, or your hair, or whatever it is that you can touch to ground yourself, to prove to yourself your connection to this dimension, and that you belong here, you are meant to be here, you are 100% supported and sustained at all times, and what that support and sustenance look like can change depending on what your circumstances are, but what you need is always here for you. And if you can relax into that and liberate yourself from this sense of urgency, which destabilizes and creates uh, dissonance in the field, you can feel safer and safer and safer and more supported and more loved, and you'll get it. Like you will simply get it because it is what I describe as spiritual logic. It is the ultimate truth. So, according to TEST, which is an acronym for many things like trust every second, like the transparent essential self, and like time or timeless energy space. So I am a holographic character in this dimension, holding these coordinates of the the concept of time, of energy, of space in this field that is holding my form together, that is holding your form together, and we are here playing this game in the illusion of separation that is pretty darn amazing. So rather than wishing that it be over, rather than wishing we not be here anymore, let us simply awaken from the hypnosis of mortal reality and reclaim our divine eternal birthright to bask in the wonder of this incredible field as the gods and goddesses, there I said it, the gods and goddesses that we actually incarnated to be. And so we've taken ourselves through this amazing journey, scared ourselves, terrified ourselves, broke our own hearts, and the truth of the here and now is that it's time to awaken and look at our lives through divine eyes and look at each other through divine eyes and celebrate the miracle and the blessing that all of this is. It is the time, 6:56. We've got 4 minutes left. Anybody feel to come on for a quick hello or say anything? On piano now, and 100% times, who knows how many zeros you've got there? Is it beyond a billion? Is it in the trillion? Living in a $1 trillion world, looking for some change, banking on faith to get me by. People, they think me strange. Never been a one for compromise, trading my dreams for pay. God laid a promise in my soul, told me to find my way. I'm finding my own way. I'm finding my own way. I'm leaving behind the negative mind, and I'm finding my own way. Shutting all the doubting voices out, turning my back on fear, tuning into my own true call, ready for what I'll hear. Breaking my ties with social lies, values that lead astray. Giving myself a brand new start, starting a brand new day. I'm finding my own way. I'm finding my own way. I'm leaving behind the negative mind, and I'm finding my own way. I'm rather weary of other people telling me how to live my life. It's rather dreary. Oh, say, can you hear me? Your status quo of strain and strife. I'm finding my own way. I let go what I think I know about anything at all. I released my preconceptions of this or that, or tit for tat, or writing on the wall. Everyone is free to choose whatever path they happen on. Liberation is a felt sensation in the moment of the remembrance of the deliverance of love. I'm finding my own way. Oh Lord, I'm finding my own way. I'm leaving behind the negative mind, and I'm finding my own way. Ba-da-ba-bum-bum-bum. Ba-da-ba-bum-bum, ba-da-bum. Ba-da-ba-bum-bum, ba-da-bum. Ba-da-ba-bum-bum-bum. Welcome at the tail end, Kennedy Carr. Thank you all for joining me this evening. It is a pleasure to be here and reflect you and serve you and support you in being liberated. Kennedy actually calls me the Tessinator. I am here to liberate you from the illusion of mortal reality, the hypnosis of mortal reality. Check out the description above, see all sorts of different ways you can support and join this movement, and follow me on Spotify to check out my music ministry. I love you all. Infinite blessings for a glorious week. Make a note to come back next Tuesday for more Voices of the Global Awakening from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. Say yes to Tess, Tuesdays with Tess. Infinite blessings. Adios.